Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Hope you all have had a good week so far. So I am sure you have all heard by now that we will all be coming back. Well, unless you're in an online section, everybody else will be coming back at the same time on Monday next week. So we will not be doing this hybrid schedule. So hopefully, unless something changes, I will see most of you back on Monday, and hopefully we can stay back in person. So, with that in mind, we still have two more e-learning days. We have today, and then you'll have tomorrow. And so today we are going to move into our next religion, and that is the religion of Islam. So today we're just going to be looking at the story of where and how Islam began. Before we go any further, there is a notes page on the first page of this module that I want you to open up so that way you have notes to take. Um, so have that pulled up and ready to fill in as we go. Now, where, I guess you kind of already saw it, but where did Islam start? Where typically when we've been talking about religion, we have been talking here in the Middle East. Israel is right here. And then this country right here is one that we're going to be paying attention to here shortly. And that is the country of Saudi Arabia. Now, this map, to give you an idea of what Saudi Arabia, where it is and like what it's like, shows you the average annual rainfall in Saudi Arabia in this case in millimeters, I think. Yeah. So to give you an idea of just how harsh and empty this is, and this map is actually a type of map known as a physical map. If you remember from beginning of the year, you can see that most of Saudi Arabia gets on average anywhere from 1 to 100 millimeters of rain a year, which isn't very much. Some places get a little more, but most places stay under 300 millimeters of rain a year. So Saudi Arabia is a very very dry country. Not much going on, a lot of desert. Typically, when we think of Saudi Arabia, we think of oil. And Saudi Arabia does, in fact, have a lot of oil, but they also are home to the world's largest. I think it's the world's largest, one of the top three largest religions in the world, and that is Islam. So it actually started, Islam did, in the desert sands of modern day Saudi Arabia in the city known as Mecca, which is right over here. Given the climate, you can kind of see in this picture here, this should seem like a pretty odd place to start a religion. Little to no rainfall, harsh place to live. And surprisingly, this is where Islam started. Now, today you will notice Islam has we'll talk about later, has several large thriving cities, but around the year 600 CE, which is where we're going to start talking about, this place was largely empty except for a few trading cities like Mecca and a few nomadic ethnic groups mixed in the middle. So, how did a major world religion begin in this kind of climate? We're going to look at that here in a second. But on your note sheet, there are a couple of terms you need to write down, and here are those terms. So, Muslims are people who follow Islam. Muslims are not a religion. Muslims are people who practice Islam, which is the religion. The Quran is the holy book of Islam, so their Bible, essentially. A mosque is a building for Muslim prayer or a place where Muslims will go to pray. Allah is the Muslim Arabic word for God. And Sharia is Muslim religious law, and we will talk about what that means shortly. But the story behind how Islam kind of established itself. It starts with a man named Muhammad. Muhammad was born into the most powerful tribe in Mecca, the Quraysh, around 570 AD CE. He was a merchant from Mecca who made his living taking trade caravans, trade routes from city to city, and making sure they got where they needed to go. Around the age of 40, Muhammad received a message from God that said to go and recite the word. When he asked what that meant, God supposedly responded by saying, recite in the name of your Lord who create a man from clots of blood. Recite, your Lord is the most bountiful one, who by the pen taught man what he did not know. So, after his experience with God, Muhammad began preaching his newfound religion in the city of Mecca, down here. This angered a lot of the locals who were polytheistic. Islam is a monotheistic religion, meaning one God. So most of the people at this time were polytheistic, meaning they believed in multiple gods, and they thought that their gods offered their trade routes protection. They were afraid if they embraced this new single religion, their trade routes would become damaged or destroyed. And so they essentially kicked Muhammad and his people, his followers, out of the city in 622, and they were sent to Medina, which is all the way up here. And Muhammad would continue practicing his religion to anyone who would listen, and he began establishing quite the following, quite the group of people who were willing to go along with whatever he was saying. So in Medina, he began spreading the word of Islam and began raising an army to retake Mecca. He would return to the city in 629 CE and capture it, and he would destroy all of those previous idols to the gods and install Islam as the main religion in the city. Muhammad would continue spreading his faith until he died around 632 CE. Now, Muhammad was actually a pretty unifying force in the religion of Islam. He kept people together. When he died, however, there were two emerging groups who were kind of fighting for control of Islam or where it was heading. Those are the Sunni and Shia Muslims, and we will talk about what they mean, like why they are different next week. So that is all I have for you all. Be sure to check Canvas tomorrow for tomorrow's assignment. And if you all have questions, let me know. Other than that, I hope you all have a good rest of the week. And I will see you all tomorrow.